Good morning, everyone. I'm here. I made it. It's been an adventurous morning already. I'm Holly Berube. I am a relationship coach for people who could use support in navigating the road bumps in their romantic partnerships. And I promise you that everything that I coach on, everything that I teach will transfer or can transfer to the other relationships in your life, like with your kids and with your parents and with, you get the idea. Today, I'm going to be chatting with you about ways to help your partner open up more to you. And some of what I share with you today may also resonate when it comes to your relationship with other people in your life that you love. So, first of all, I'm going to give this a minute because sometimes Facebook takes a few to let people know that we're here. It is a straight up circus this morning. So I will share personal story. So again, if you're watching live, please put a 1 in the comments. If you're watching on the replay, put a 2 in the comments, or you can just comment live or replay. Good morning, Jorge. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Hello, my friend. How are you? I haven't heard your name in a long time. Okay, so my cat has been incessantly meowing at me for like the last 10 minutes. I do not know why. We already cuddled this morning. He's needy, but he just keeps meowing. So you might hear my cat meow the entire time. My dog is pacing behind me because the cat's got her all excited. Took a shower this morning, and I, again, just like 2 days ago, do not have hot water. So it was a cold shower morning again. It is a circus. It's a circus. So tell me hello in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. I hope that you're having an easier morning. My morning, all things considered, is pretty easy, but my goodness, it's just a circus today. So yeah, type live or replay in the comments. And again, while I'm having everybody join in and before I start talking with you about ways to help your partner open up to you, you might even get like how you can open up to them too from this. I just want to remind everyone that I do have a one-on-one coaching spot that is currently open and available, just opened last week. So if you are interested in coaching with me privately, you can send me a DM and say I'm interested in coaching, or you can just comment info below and I will send you the application for that. And for women, I have a Facebook group called Happy Spouse, Happy House. That is my group coaching program. And I do 2 live group coaching sessions a month on Zoom with the members of that group. So if you are interested in the subscription to Happy Spouse, Happy House, comment the word happy. Or DM me and I can send you the information on that as well. Super affordable, great way for you to work with me one-on-one or close to one-on-one because you're with other people. Okay. All right. Spend a couple minutes. Hopefully Facebook tells people I'm live by now. We'll find out. Let's chat about how to have your partner open up to you. A lot of this has to do, so here's how people tend to perceive it, first of all. So what I mean by opening up is you might be in a partnership and maybe for some period of time, your significant other would openly share with you about things that they are going through, things that they feel challenged by, even like sharing the positive things, like what are their really big dreams, what are their really big goals, and your partner may have at one point felt very safe and secure to share those things with you, okay? Or you might be in a partnership where your partner doesn't really talk about that stuff with you at all. So the first thing that I'll say is when just to consider the person's nature, because not everyone is the type of person that shares very openly about what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're going through. It isn't a natural condition for everyone. So if you are an individual who very openly shares on occasion with your significant other about everything, the good, the bad, whatever, gives the details, please understand that just because you are that way does not mean that your partner is that way. It's important to kind of maybe even go back in time a little bit and consider, has your partner ever been like that? Or do you witness your significant other opening up to other people to that extent? And then you think, well, why don't they open up like that with me? That's so interesting. But I think it's important to consider, one, that them opening up to you is not going to be a direct match to how you open up to people just because you're together. That's just, it's not a thing. Every individual is a little bit different or is different when it comes to that. Okay. So that's the first thing to consider is, have they ever been the type to open up about things like that? Second thing to consider is, if they have opened up to you in the past about things, consider how they went about doing it. Because if they're not the type of person that just offers information, maybe you are a person that just offers information, offers your thoughts, offers your feelings. It may not be something that they are used to or like that they typically do. So they may respond and open up only when they are prompted, meaning only when you ask them, well, how do you feel about something? Right? Or what is your big goal for this? Or how do you envision this thing happening? The more specific the question, the better. So again, if you are with a significant other who doesn't open up easily on their own, consider that they may simply need prompting. And the questions that you ask need to be very specific. So for example, like if you, and I'm laughing because this is a thing that happens all the time. I should do a video on the nothing box, but let's say you ask them, well, what are you thinking? And they go, nothing. It's very easy to walk away and feel like, oh my gosh, they don't want to share with me. They don't trust me. They don't have anything to say. They won't open up to me. How could they possibly be thinking nothing? I promise you, they're actually thinking nothing for a lot of people. And that's another video for another day. But I think it's important to consider that the specificity of your question is really important. This also applies with your children. You know, how many parents, their child comes home from school and they'll say, did you have a good day at school? And their kid says, yes. And the parent's like, that's it? That's all you're going to tell me? Well, parent, you asked them a yes or no question. And some people are very efficient with how they answer questions. So, and this is grown-ups too. So if you ask them a yes or no question, you know, like, hey, are you okay? Yes. Was your day at school okay? Yes. Or no. And then they don't elaborate. You know, so I think it's important to consider. So maybe the specificity of questions. So like with a child who comes home from school, you can ask something like, you know, what was the best part of your day at school today? Or you could ask something like, what's something that you learned today? What's one thing you learned today? About anything. It doesn't even have to be a school thing. What's one thing that you're proud of yourself for today? And these are questions, I'm giving examples now about kids, but you could give the same examples with like adults and whatnot too. All right. So that's the first component here, is when a partner is not opening up to you initially, it's important to consider if that is their nature to begin with, because some people are just not that way. A helpful tidbit with that is, if people that you know and you care about are not the type of people that share about their feelings, typically people can tell you what they are thinking. There are people who are much more in tune with their thoughts than they are with their feelings. So if you know that, you can ask someone, you know, hey, what's on your mind right now? Or what, you know, like what's on your mind? Sometimes when we say, what are you thinking? People hear it as defensive. So ask someone, what's on your mind? What's kicking around in there, right? Or you could ask somebody, how do you feel about fill in the blank? How do you feel about what happened today at work? How do you feel about that presentation that you gave today? How do you feel about that meeting that you have tomorrow, or the drive to work because of all this construction? Fill in the blank. You can figure it out. So it's important to consider that not everyone is the type that shares openly. When you ask questions, ask very specific questions, and also recognize that not everyone is accustomed to sharing how they feel, but they might not know how they feel, but they can tell you what their thoughts are and what they're thinking. Another reason people don't open up about their feelings specifically is because we don't have the verbiage to describe our feelings. We don't have the vocabulary for it. So Brene Brown's recent book, Atlas of the Heart, speaks about all of the, I want to say it's like the 86 most common emotions that people experience, coming from research that she did working with like counselors and therapists and professionals. And what happens is, humans, we really only have, according to her study in the book, We only have the capacity to describe how we're feeling with 3 words: happy, sad, or angry. And for people who have a larger span of vocabulary to describe their feelings, they may go to their significant other and want their significant other to elaborate on their emotions. Do they feel defeated? Do they feel crushed? Do they feel optimistic? Do they feel excited? Do they feel elated? Do they feel blissful? And there's so many other words we can use, but if people do not have the emotional intelligence, and it's not their fault necessarily, okay? They're going to tell you they're happy, sad, or angry, or they're going to say nothing because they don't know the word to say. So highly recommend the book Atlas of the Heart for you or someone you love if you feel like you want to expand on your vocabulary of how you, oh, hi, Marianne. If you want to expand your vocabulary on like how to describe your emotions and your feelings. Oh, no, I'm not getting any notifications. That's a bummer. What's funny is like, I only have you and one other person here right now. Normally it's like 10 times that. So I'm like, where is everybody? But that's okay. Anyway, so that's another resource that you can use. And another reason someone might not be opening up is because they don't have the vocabulary to tell you what they're actually feeling, but they might be able to tell you what's on their mind instead. And the second component, like the final component of this, after you've assessed, are they the type of person that opens up to begin with? If they are, do they have the vocabulary to even describe how they're feeling? Can we have compassion toward people who don't? The last component is, what if it's you? What if it's you? Because I think it's really easy to say, oh, my partner doesn't open up to me. My partner doesn't share with me. It's them. It's their issue. It's their fault. It's their lack of knowledge, whatever. But what if it's you? And I say this with all due respect and compassion as well, because I know that I have been a person in my past years and years and years and years ago, before I started learning all this, because I recognized I was terrible in my relationship. I want you to understand that like people only open up when they feel safe. People only open up when they feel safe. So a reason that someone would not open up to you, and they're typically the kind of person that would, is because they may not feel emotionally safe with you. And reasons that a person may not feel emotionally safe could be something like whenever they've opened up to you, you may compare what they're going through with what you're going through. So they may open up and share something, and then you may say something like, well, you think that's bad. I had this and I had this and I had this. Well, that person is not going to open up to you as much, or won't open up to you any longer, if they feel like it's going to be a contest of who's got it worse. Okay. So that's something else to consider. Another reason a person wouldn't open up to you, and it's you, not them, and the lack of safety, is if they feel that, when they share something with you about how they're feeling, that you somehow tell them that what they're feeling is wrong. So for example, if they say something to you like, I felt lonely, or I felt disrespected. And then let's say your response to that, instead of your response being, tell me more about that. I want to hear more about this. Tell me more about what you mean by you feel disrespected and you feel lonely, or whatever it is. Okay. Let's say they say, I feel lonely, or I feel disrespected. And your response is, you feel lonely? Do you see all the things that I do for you? I'm with you all the time. I talk to you all the time. Like, how much more do you need of me? Look at all the things that I do for you. You feel disrespected? I'm raising your kids. I'm working a job. I'm paying the bills. Like, all that we have to do in that moment when someone shares their feeling is validate their feeling. That's the simplicity of this. It's so beautiful. Is when we have someone that wants to open up to us and they're not, because they don't feel safe, it's often because when they did open up in the past, they felt cut down in some respect. Okay. So it could be because of the responses that you've been given. So healthy responses, and these take practice. Okay. It is tough, especially I know for myself, it's tough for me to turn off my defensiveness. It's really tough if my significant other says something about, and it's just easier for me to be like, but look at this and look at this and look at this. And I have to remind myself, Holly, this isn't about you right now. This isn't about you right now. This isn't about you right now. Like, hear your partner out and be patient. And I get curious. I get curious instead. Instead of judging them, I get curious and I ask questions. Okay, like, tell me more about this loneliness thing. When did you feel this? I really try to ask questions that start with any word except why. Like, instead of why you feel lonely, I could say something like, tell me more about this loneliness you feel. Or can you give me an example of when you felt disrespected? Or can you tell me what it looked like? Tell me what it sounded like. And I want more details from them. So I get curious instead. And then what it gives is an opportunity for your significant other to share about what they're feeling, to put a name to it, to put a picture, an example to it. And then it might even have nothing to do with you or something you did or didn't do. So it's important to give them the space to elaborate. Okay. And in the moment, that can be really tough. So when we shut people out that quickly, it is so easy for them to be like, wow, I don't feel safe with this person anymore. Every time I tell them how I'm feeling, they make it a contest, or they tell me that they do all this for me and I shouldn't feel this way, or they get defensive and then they don't feel heard. So they stop opening up. Okay. Hey, Sandy. So they stop opening up. And then what ends up happening is they don't open up as much, or they just shut down altogether. And it's a major issue in relationships. So I hope this was supportive. Put a 1 in the comments if you caught this live, a 2 in the comments if you watched on the replay, or just type live or replay in the comments. I had somebody actually message me this question yesterday, which is why I did this as a video today, because I was like, this is a great topic. And it comes up for my clients all the time. All the time. I want my partner to open up. I want them to talk to me. I want them to tell me more. And what do I do? Okay, so this is a super common topic. This is where it came from. But I wanted to let you know, because if there is something that you would like for me to do an episode of Holly Show about, I'm happy to do that. You can DM me a question, or you could ask it in the comments below. Either way, that's fine with me. And again, I'm committed to going live Monday through Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. I was late every day this week, but I showed up every day this week. So I'm improving. I'm getting better. I will get to 8:30. It's just taken me a minute this week. But I hope this has been supportive. Again, if you are interested in personal coaching with me one-on-one, type comment info or message me info, and I can send you private coaching information. Or if you are a woman and you are interested in my group coaching program, which is a subscription, it's called Happy Spouse, Happy House, super affordable group coaching twice a month on Zoom live with me. You can comment below happy or message me the word happy, and I will send you the info on that subscription. And our next group coaching call for Happy Spouse, Happy House is next Tuesday night on the 10th of May. So that's coming up. So I hope I have a number of you join us. I'd love to work with you one-on-one rather than just me talking to my phone like this. And that's all I have for today. Leave me a comment below. Have you ever felt unsafe in sharing with your partner? Do you feel like your partner feels unsafe in sharing with you? How did you handle it? And what of everything we talked about today, especially if you got to the end of this video, what of anything that I spoke about today are you ready to try in order to see if it will help them open up more or help you open up more? What can you ask for from your partner if you're the one that feels shut down? Okay. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. I'm Holly Berube. I am your relationship coach. And until Monday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, love always and always. Take care. Have a good weekend.